I'd like to talk just for a few minutes about the evolution of the bespoke or artisan fountain pen. I've talked to some people and gotten some useful information, and it kind of leads up to the pen I'm reviewing today. I talked to Jim Hines, and my question was, who was the first person to start turning bespoke pens from rods? And who first started casting the swirly resins that we are so familiar with today? Jim said that a man by the name of Curtis Seebeck might have been the first, but he recommended that I talk to Shawn Newton, Jonathan Brooks, Curtis Seebeck, or Barry Gross. Jim said that those guys, along with Ryan Krusak, have all been turning pens longer than he has, and that time period has been about 15 to 16 years. So I contacted Shawn Newton, who said that there were other guys making pens as far back as the 1980s and 1990s, and he mentioned Joe Cali, Chris Thompson, Paul Rossi, Bruno Corsini, Brad Torelli, and Brian Gray of Edison Pens. Shawn also said that these types of pens have been made in India and Japan for decades, but for my purposes, I was primarily interested in the U.S. pen market. My whole reason for seeking this information is to understand the evolution of the modern-day small maker pen, because they've evolved just since I entered the hobby. They've gone from unadorned caps and barrels, yet turned from beautiful, colorful, and sparkling materials to pens that feature clips, hybrid pens composed of acrylics and wood burls, pens that are even made of 4 different materials fused into one creation, the use of different materials such as ultem, PEEK, micarta, and carbon fiber. And recently, we've seen a huge demand for pens with interior polishing to create clear, glass-like effects. Today, I have a pen to review that has had interior polishing done, and that is this pen by Lathe and Lathe. This is Ryan's Sterling model, and the material is You Had Me at Merlot by Alan Myers of Myers Pen Company. Lathe and Lathe is a small pen turning and leather accessory company that is owned by Ryan and Callie Shaffer out of Michigan. Ryan makes the pens and Callie hand paints the leather accessories. Ryan has been turning pens for a little over 1.5 years. A lot of pen turners started in woodworking, and although Ryan did not, he has a background that includes a grandfather who has a wood shop and worked with wood his entire life. So Ryan has been around woodworking all of his life. Ryan's mentors have been his grandpa for the woodworking and instilling an engineering mindset, Alan Myers for sharing skills and tips, and Luke of Papa J Woodworks for helping with Ryan's interior polishing game. Ryan's favorite material to work with is Alumilite Clear Slow. Ryan says he loves to reverse engineer or figure out creative new shapes and features, and he enjoys working with customers to make their pen dreams come true. Ryan has a full-time job and a family, so right now his pen business takes place at night or on weekends. What are the future goals of Lathe and Lathe? The 2025 Chicago Pen Show is their first show, and they will be at the Orlando show in September. Ryan and Callie want to get a website set up and maybe set up an LLC business. They also hope to involve their children in the family business as the children grow. In the meantime, you can contact Ryan and Callie via Instagram messaging using the name Leather and Lathe and follow them so you can be notified of new pen releases. My new pen shows some of the new shapes and the internal polishing that Ryan has been working on. Notice the facets that are shaped into the top of the cap, which are done completely by hand sanding. And notice also the translucency of the cap, which is achieved through the internal polishing process. The pen body exhibits a very high gloss, which showcases the beautiful reds, copper, and blue in this You Had Me at Merlot material. And here at the end of the barrel are some more faceted shapes. This is the blank I chose for this pen. And here is the finished pen. The amount of transparency that can be achieved depends on the blank that is used. My pen has a lot of turquoise blue glitter inclusions in the cap, which makes my cap have a slightly more opaque or translucent appearance as opposed to a completely transparent appearance. But I think it's pretty darn clear. Ryan made a pen from one of these blanks for his wife Kelly, and the faceted tip of her cap is crystal clear. This is a converter pen and has an extra fine stainless steel JoWo nib. And I have used Diamine All the Best ink in my new pen. I'm really pleased with how my pen turned out, and I'd like to thank Ryan and Callie for the care and effort they're putting into their new business and also for being such great people. And I'd like to thank all of you for watching these videos and for subscribing. I've reached a little over 1,000 subscribers now, and I never dreamed I'd do that when I started my YouTube channel. So thanks, everyone.